Hi, this is the Eclectic News Network. I'm Brian Buddy here on the road, and today I just wanted to kind of go over a couple things. What's going on in the world, of course. Still no word on the election. Really, who cares at this point? My opinion is that Donald Trump won this election pretty much, probably with 320 electoral votes. Even though the media says that's unfactual, there's no way that you can get 200,000 votes overnight and all of them go to Joe Biden. I'm sorry, but that's fraud, and I don't care if Biden's on your side or Trump's on your side. I'm on no side. I didn't vote for either of them. I didn't vote this year just because there's no point. Because bottom line is, they don't matter. Now, as far as like the coronavirus and everything, I hear people that I talk to, that I know at work, friendships, relatives, that, if we would have done a better job the first time around, we wouldn't have a second lockdown. It's the fault that people didn't wear masks and things like that. So let's use a little logic and common sense about the virus, okay? 67% of the people that died from the virus are above the age of 70, okay? The average life expectancy is 77 years old, 76.1 for men, 80.2 for women. It has dropped a little bit in the last 10 years, but it's around 78 years old, okay? Now, I'm not saying that people that die deserve to die. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that let's take things into consideration before we shut down everything and ruin an economy that was basically still teetering on disaster and now is going to be in disaster for probably a decade to come. I know everybody doesn't want to hear that, so I won't bring it up too much more because I know I piss people off when I say that because I'm being negative. Truth be told is that I wish it was different. It's actually worse than what I say. There in Ohio here, there's a curfew, so bars and restaurants are having issues. But with the people above 65, about 87% of the virus is pretty much just like asymptomatic. Some get set a cold, some get a flu. So you're going to have that double match where you're going into flu season. Of course, you're going to have higher amount of cases. That's just, I think we did 86,000 deaths of the flu in 2017, 2018. We didn't shut anything down. We have less deaths than we did last year at this time. So to sit here and say that we have to shut everything down, to me, logically does not make any sense. And it's not novel because we already know what it does. It's a genetic mutation. It's a weaponized cold virus. And yes, if you're worn down and you're thin and you don't have enough nutrients and you're starving, yeah, you're going to die from it. If you're obese, if you have 4 comorbidities, yes, you will probably get it severely. And you might die if you're older or if you have some pre-genetic disposition. Unfortunately, that is the case. I'm not discounting that. I understand. Life is important. I hear people say, well, if we don't have life, we won't have an economy. The thing is that it's a very fine line between freedom and safety. The more safety you want, the less freedom you give up. The more freedom you give up, excuse me. So I don't really feel that it's an even trade-off. I'm all for selective quarantine of people that have got the virus that are elderly. You want to stay away from them. Kids are resilient. I mean, literally, kids can eat dirt. They're fine. They can eat shit. They're okay. I mean, kids are resilient. I mean, I ate bugs, okay? I mean, granted, look how I turned out. I turned out wonderful. But, yeah, the thing is that, yeah, I get it. It's, but the media is overplaying it, I think. Do I think it's real? Of course I do. But I don't think you have to, if you're taking care of yourself and you're eating properly, and not only that, but the thing is, if you take 90 trace minerals and you have the minerals and vitamins in your body, it's pretty hard to get sick. I mean, I've been sick before, probably once in the last 20 years, twice maybe. Why? Well, number one, I quit smoking, and that was a big thing. Number two, I basically stopped, eating the junk. I mean, granted, I love food, so yeah, I'm a big guy, but, when I'm eating food or something like that, I try to make sure it's the best possible thing. I don't eat pasta all the time. My weakness is ice cream on the weekends. My big weakness is chips. Not even chips, but just crackers. I love Ritz crackers with peanut butter. That's my weakness. I love those things, and those aren't good for you. But the thing is that I stopped drinking the diet soda. I'll have the soda sweetened with stevia, which isn't too bad, but I'll have that for a treat on the weekend. I'll have a couple cans of that on a Saturday night because I don't drink. And I mean, you're fine. I mean, do I feel run down sometimes? Yeah, but that's what's going on right now. Everybody's feeling sick. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I went with a friend of mine today. We went for a hike because you can't sit there. The thing is, I go to the gym. Okay, you don't get it. You get okay, you feel better, but when you go for a hike, you're in nature. You feel a lot better. Even though it's only the low 40s here in the Ohio area, it's nice. It was dry. Took a nice 45-minute hike. Wasn't a long one. Then I went to the gym, of course, did about a half hour, in the elliptical, lift some weights. And then I went on the hydro massage chair. I felt like $1 million. But you have to move. If you don't move, and I'll tell you, there's weeks where I'm so busy I don't get to exercise. I put it off. I believe me, I used to be 6 times a week. I used to be hardcore. I mean, I was like 13% body fat, 11% at one time. I was 199 pounds. I was 208 pounds at one point, about 9 years ago. Will I ever be there again? Probably not. But, I mean, even if I drop 70 pounds, I'll be happy. I'll be to where I'm in a size 36, 38 pants. Right now I'm at a 42, 44, so I'm not really happy. But that's fixable with diet. It's not like it's, oh, you have cancer. And so I'm very lucky. You know what I mean? And I'm very blessed for what I have. I don't begrudge anybody that has a problem. I think that's sad. And I think the problem is I think we're just basically focusing on wearing a mask everywhere, where a mask is not going to save you if you're eating McDonald's 4 times a day. A mask is not going to save you for 600 pounds. A mask is not going to save you if you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. A mask is not going to save you if you have asthma. It actually is worse for people with asthma. I mean, I had somebody I work with. She was basically a manager. She had to go home because she was wheezing so bad because of the mask. And she's cleaning her mask. She has like 12 masks with her, basically cleaned or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She keeps putting them back on. And she's wheezing. You can hear her. It sounds like a whistling train. And I said, why don't you get a medical exemption? Company says they don't care. It's like we don't care. It's about keeping people safe. We know what's right for you. All it is, it's written by lawyers. That's all it is. They're making this shit up. And, at work, we have the mask police. They're called the mask task force. Like, was it the Delta Force for masks? The virus will strike back like Star Wars. So, and I'm waiting for a little bit after I get out of training and probably just work from home. I'm probably going to be getting in, probably living in a van during the summer, probably traveling the country while I work from home, or just living it full time starting next year, just because I just need a change, because I can't sit in the same 1,000 square foot, 700 square foot place. It gets that depressing. And there's nothing to do. I mean, well, I want to go for a road trip. Oh, you can't leave Ohio, or you can, but you can't be between this time and this time. So, basically that's what I'm going to do starting next year, because I've already got, plans laid out. Probably get either a Econoline or an Express, or, I probably won't go with a Sprinter van just because they're diesel, and the diesels made after 2007 are expensive to really maintain. Anything prior is pretty much a rust bucket unless you get one from the south, but they're still really expensive. So I'll probably be going with something with an extended cab, Chevy Express or ProMaster, probably 25 or 3,500. That's probably what I'm looking at right now. Just so I can travel around, live in it for a few months, work from home, and just do that. Because I've got the blueprints, I've got 3 different schematic plans that I can use. And the thing is, people will be surprised, but if you only have 150 square feet in a van, that seems like not a lot of space. If you're one person, that's really a lot. To be honest with you, in my apartment, I have 2 bedrooms. I use probably about 25 to 30% of that space at one time. I mean, pretty much my den never gets used unless I'm in there, researching, or if I'm paying bills from doing computer stuff at my desk. That's it. I only use it probably about an hour a week. My bed, I don't use it that much. I sleep on it for 8 hours. So the way I see it is I don't really need a lot. Now, if I ever get somebody, that's a different story, but I don't see that happening right now. So my thing is that I want to address the coronavirus issue. Don't be afraid of it. Take the precautions, obviously. Be smart about it. Obviously, if you're going to a crowded group of people you don't feel well, don't go. Or if you're sick, don't go to work. Those are just common sense measures. I mean, to sit there and basically live your life to where this is all you're going to do, you're going to live in fear of something. Why even live? I'm just being honest. Why even live? Freedom and liberty is not free. There's always a cost. And sometimes that means that you might have to take risks. And I know people don't like saying that, but I think our country, we're not home of the free and land of the brave anymore. We're home of the scared and the land of the snitches. You need to go back to what our founders taught. The founders dealt with smallpox. They dealt with diphtheria. They dealt with dysentery and all this stuff. They dealt with all of that. They were fine. They didn't have quarantines or whatever. Granted, back then it was less populated. They can go to their farm. Granted that, but still, they went through the same stuff that we did: smallpox, anthrax. And the thing is that it's always there. Be concerned about it, but don't be scared to the point where you don't leave your house. Please don't do that. I mean, unless you're really compromised. But if you're normal, live your life. Yeah, go out for a hike. Seriously, visit your friends. 6 feet distancing if you have to. That's fine. Live your life. You only have one of them. You gotta sit there in the apartment, stare at the ceiling for 12 hours a day? No. So, as far as that's concerned, as far as we should have handled it better the first time, we didn't know. Now we know that it's not very serious. Yes, there is a high infection rate. High infection rate doesn't mean anything. You can have a high infection rate of anything. You can have coronaviruses all over your body. However, the mortality rate is very low. It's very low. Now, at first they said 18%. It's not even at 1% mortality right now. So it's not even, it shouldn't even be classified as a pandemic or even epidemic. It's probably just a severe case of the flu. Now, am I wrong? I probably am not wrong. I'm just, by the numbers, if you look at the numbers. And even the World Health Organization said that masks don't work. They said that shutting down the economy doesn't work, but they still do it anyways because there's nefarious reasons why behind that. And I've already talked about that. The thing is they want to shut down the economy so the banks can buy everything up for pennies on the dollar, and it's called the Great Reset. Basically, you'll own nothing, you'll have to rent everything, and you'll be happy about it. I don't know about you, but I would not want to be happy about that. This is America, okay? The United States of America, and it's still the country where you can build a life, you work hard enough, and I still believe that. I think there needs to be some changes in the fact of leadership because I don't think we have good leaders. I don't think Donald Trump, I don't think Joe Biden's the answer. I think your answer is going to lie in my generation and the generation that's younger than mine, the millennials. I think you're going to have to give good leaders that believe in freedom, liberty, and justice and believe in smaller government. That's where the change is going to happen. It's not going to happen with Donald Trump or Joe Biden. It's too late. They're in their 70s. The only hope is somebody who's in my age, around 40, 45, 50, or they're in their 30s and 20s, Gen Z or whatever. I think you have to get to that generation, and then I think you'll see a turnaround because I think that's your only hope because it's too late for people in their 60s. The baby boomers don't give a shit. They're just riding the clock out. They don't care. And I'm not saying they don't care, but I'm just saying they don't really want to get involved in the fight because they have nothing to lose or gain. They've already gotten all the wealth. Gen Z and, millennials and Zs, they get nothing basically because of zero interest rate policy for the last 10 years. So that's what's going to happen. the change is going to have to go with younger leaders. And we really need to focus on that because 47% of the younger people, Gen Zs, believe that communism is a good thing. So we have a lot of work to do to change those minds. Because you can sit there and you can elect a Donald Trump or you can elect a Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. The AOCs of the world are not going away, and we have to focus on that. So I'm Brian Budd here for the Eclectic News Network. Have a great rest of your weekend. I love all of you very much. Take care, and God bless.